Hello, everyone, and welcome to our PowerPoint on the future by Mackenzie Sinclair, Megan Jones, and Lucy Walker. Today, we will be talking about the 12 pedagogical principles of teaching and how we believe they are important for all teachers across all schools in the country. We will also be discussing our curriculum that we have created, which we think would be perfect to link with the 12 pedagogical principles in Wales.
What makes an effective practitioner? An effective practitioner takes into consideration the pedagogical principles when planning their lessons. These principles include always link teachings back to curriculum. A carefully designed curriculum and well-executed curriculum plays a significant role in the success of schools, pupils, and teachers who attend. Challenging pupils to sustain their efforts to reach their targets. The more children are challenged by teachers and even pupils, the less likely they are to give up and reach their goals. Promotes problem solving, creative and critical thinking. In addition to bringing changes in teaching and learning activities, creativity shows that the person is competent to become a professional, ideal teacher. The teacher's creativity will help students grasp the lessons quickly and as well as improve their motivation in learning. Employs a broad repertoire of teaching approaches. Teaching methods are the broader techniques used to help the students achieve learning outcomes, while activities are the different ways of implementing these methods. Teaching methods help students master the content of the course and learn how to apply the content in particular contexts. Reinforces cross-curricular responsibilities, including literacy, numeracy, and digital competence. And finally, makes connections within and across areas of learning and experiences.
We believe a good practitioner uses the 12 pedagogical principles every day in the classroom. These principles include AFL, Assessment for Learning, Overall Purpose, Blended Teaching, Mindset and Power of Effort, Deepening Thinking, Critical and Creative, Making Powerful Connections, Meaningful and Authentic, Building on Prior Learning and Engagement, Cross-curricular expectations, learning autonomy, positive relationships, and collaboration. We believe a good practitioner uses these principles to create authentic context for learning, employs assessments for learning principles, makes connections within and across areas of learning and experiences, and reinforces cross-curriculum responsibilities, including literacy, numeracy, and digital competency.
Student voice. A key part of being an effective practitioner is listening to the student voice, whether this is in the classroom, out on the playground, or after school. Student voice acknowledges that students have unique perspective on learning, teaching, and schooling and should have the opportunity to actively shape their own education. Student voice also links to Article 12 of the UNCRC, the United Nations Convention of Rights for the Child, which states the right of children and young people to have their views taken into account when decisions are being made that have an effect on their lives. This includes hearing from all students in the class, articulation of student ideas and thinking. This means you could have a group session with students where you could ask them what they think of their lessons so far and what they would do to improve their lessons. Students' ability to understand how they learn best and ability to use that data to help decide what and how they learn. This could be whether they think they would learn better on computers rather than books, or in groups rather than on their own. Students demonstrate what they learned in a way that interests them and taps into their strengths. If you teach a student in ways that they understand and enjoy, the results will be much better for their future.
Learning journey. A learning journey is a collection of pieces of information that, when collected together, creates a picture of a particular child. Practitioners tend to use learning journeys as a valuable tool for assessing a child's development, providing a record of a child's time with oneself, and helping planning activities when these are individual or group activities. Practitioners should be able to see at a glance the child's stage of development and what they need to cover next. Learning journeys enable you to keep track of a child's development, link it to areas of the EYFS, and include their own knowledge as well as information from parents and other relevant professionals to plan activities relevant to that child's development. What is the EYFS learning journey? The EYFS Early Years Foundation Stage learning journey is the method by which early years children are tracked throughout their time in the foundation phase. When planning a child's progress, practitioners will collect documents. These include a mix of written work, artwork, and other evidence that will provide an individualized learning assessment.
Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development suggests that intelligence changes as children grow. A child's cognitive development is not just about acquiring knowledge. The child has to develop or construct a mental model of the world. Cognitive development occurs through the interaction of innate capacities and environmental events, and children pass through a series of stages.
Piaget's theory of cognitive development proposes 4 stages of development, the first being the sensory monitor stage, from birth to 2 years of age. The first stage is the sensory motor stage, and during this stage, an infant focuses on physical sensations and on learning to coordinate his body. For example, learning how to walk. Major characteristics and development changes of the child include the infant learns about how world through their senses and how through their actions, moving around and exploring its environment. During the sensory monitor stage, a range of cognitive abilities develop. These include object performance, self-recognition, which means that the child realizes that other people are separate from them, deferred imitation, and representational play. They relate to the emergence of general symbolic function, which is the capacity to represent the world mentally. At about 8 months, the infant will understand the permanence of objects and that they will exist even if they can't see them, and the infant will search for them when they disappear.
The second stage of Piaget's theory is the pre-operational stage. It is one of Piaget's intellectual development stages, and it takes place between the ages of 2 and 7. At the beginning of this stage, the child does not use operations, so the thinking is influenced by the way things appear rather than logical reasoning. A child cannot conserve, which means that the child does not understand the quantity remains the same even if the appearance changes. Furthermore, the child is ecocentric. He assumes that other people see the world the way he does. This has been shown through 3 mountain studies. Major characteristics and development changes. Toddlers and young children acquire the ability to internally represent the world through language and mental imagery. During this stage, young children can think about things symbolically. This is the ability to make one thing, such as a word or an object, stand for something other than itself by using their imagination. A child's thinking is dominated by how the world looks and not how things work. It is not yet capable of logical, problem-solving type of thought. Moreover, the child has difficulties with class inclusion. He can classify objects but cannot include objects in subsets, which involves classifying objects as belonging to two or more categories simultaneously. Infants at this stage demonstrate animism. This is the tendency for the child to think that non-living objects, such as toys, have lives and feelings as the same as they do and their friends.
The third stage of Piaget's cognitive development theory is the concrete operational stage. By the beginning of the concrete operational stage, the child uses operations so he can conserve quantities. He realizes that people see the world in a different way than he does, and he has improved in inclusion tasks. Children still have difficulties with abstract thinking, major characteristics and development changes. During this stage, children begin to thinking logically about concrete events. Children begin to understand the concept of conversation, understanding that although things may change in appearance, certain properties remain the same. During this stage, children can mentally reverse things. For example, picture a ball of plasticine returning to its original shape. During this stage, children also become less egocentric and begin to think about how other people may think and feel, taking into consideration thoughts and feelings.
The final stage of the four stages of development is the formal operational stage. This is from ages 12 and over. The formal operational period begins at about age 11. As adolescents enter this stage, they gain the ability to think in an abstract manner, the ability to combine and classify items in a more sophisticated way, and the capacity for a higher order reasoning. Adolescents can think systematically and reason about what might be as well as what is not. Not everyone is able to achieve this stage. This allows them to understand politics, ethics, and science fiction, as well as to engage in scientific reasoning. Adolescents can deal with abstract ideas. For example, they can understand division and fractions without having to actually divide things up in their head. Major characteristics and development changes include concrete operations are carried out on the things, whereas formal operations are carried out on ideas. Formal operation thought is entirely freed from physical and perceptual constraints. During this stage, adolescents can deal with abstract ideas, for example, no longer needing to think about slicing up cakes or sharing sweets to understand division and fractions. They can follow the form of an argument without having to think in terms of specific examples. Adolescents can deal with hypothetical problems with many possible solutions. For example, if asked what would happen if money were abolished in 1 hour's time, they could speculate about many possible consequences.
What makes a successful teacher? We asked two pupils from two different schools, one located in Dartmouth, England, and the other located in Abergavenny, Wales. We asked the pupils what they found created a successful teacher. Millie stated, taking into consideration people's thoughts and feelings, using creativity when delivering lessons, as it gives pupils more of an active purpose when engaging in lessons, listening to students' needs, using student voice to adapt lessons, and positive classroom environment. Alfie stated, having respect, treating students evenly, being honest, having discipline within the classroom, and being an advocate for the pupils.
Lev Vygotsky's more knowledgeable other. Vygotsky's more knowledgeable other is a person who has greater knowledge and skills than the learner. Often, this is an adult, such as a parent or a teacher, who provides educational opportunities such as guided instructions within a child's zone of proximal development. Vygotsky's noticed that children also learn a great deal from peer interactions. In fact, children often pay more attention to what happens with their friends and classmates and how they are doing things than how adults do things. Teachers can leverage this tendency by pairing less skilled children with more knowledgeable children throughout the classroom and observe and watch them imitate these children.
We asked the same students what they thought made an unsuccessful teacher in the classroom. We found that these students believe that if the teacher doesn't care about the pupils, if the teacher doesn't support the child's individual needs, if the teacher has a lack of knowledge based on the chosen subject, if they are unorganized, or if they have poor discipline, then Millie believed that this was a sign of an unsuccessful teacher. This could be due to the teacher's lack of empathy that she has described here for what she believes is an unsuccessful teacher. Alfie believed that an unsuccessful teacher was unengaging, unenthusiastic, unmotivated, had a lack of interest in the general topic, and failed to show diversity within the classroom, showing prejudice. This more focuses on the teacher's ability to diversify in the classroom and treat everyone equally, which obviously all teachers should do.
Jerome Berners' theory of development is based on the assumption that we learn best when we go from concrete to abstract in a three-step process. First comes hands-on action, then learning with images, and finally, students transform what they have learned into language. Throughout the experience, we constantly revisit previously learned subjects while teachers provide carefully structured guidance along the way. Teachers also use scaffolding, a term coined by Brunner. Teachers do this by structured activities based on students' existing knowledge and in a way that helps them reach the desired learning outcome. The teacher first demonstrates the process as the student watches. Then the teacher lets the student have a go, steps back, and offers support and feedback when needed.
Our curriculum, the future for everyone. Our aims. Throughout our curriculum, we have decided to have 4 core aims. These are as followed: to prepare students for the opportunities, responsibilities, and experiences for later life, ensuring all needs of children are met, and ensuring appropriate health and wellbeing support is in place at all times, ensuring all children have the correct knowledge and support throughout the education system that they may need, and this may include their families. Lessons are planned and adapted to ensure ALN, additional learning needs, and other disabilities achieve the best possible outcome for their education.
Our future curriculum. Our curriculum provides equality, opportunity, and access for all. The curriculum offers a learner-centered education approach to all students. At the top we can see we have maths / numeracy, English / literacy, and life skills. On the middle section of our pyramid, we have physical education, health and well-being, science, language, technology, and history. Below on our pyramid, we have music, expressive arts, outdoor learning, geography, Welsh culture, and chosen subjects.
The purpose of our curriculum. We have designed our curriculum around 4 purposes that we believe are important for all students. The first is ambitious and capable learners. We believe that all learners should be ambitious to learn more in everyday lessons and throughout their school life, while also becoming capable learners through the system. The second is healthy and confident individuals. We believe we will achieve having healthy and confident individuals through this curriculum by making PE an important subject that we believe should be taught most days in schools. A responsible citizen. We believe that making a responsible citizen in later life is one of the key parts of going through primary school up into secondary school. If you can ensure that you have responsible citizens in your classroom from a young age, they will grow up to be a valuable part of society. Effective contributors. Whether this is in the classroom, outside of the classroom, wherever, we believe that all students should be able to contribute to whatever they are asked to do. And being taught this from a young age and being asked and challenged questions by the teachers in schools will help them improve in this.
John Dewey recommends an interdisciplinary curriculum, or a curriculum that focuses on connecting multiple subjects where students can freely move in and out of their environment as they pursue interests and construct their own paths for acquiring and applying knowledge. In this way, they pursue their own interests and build their own method for acquiring and applying specific knowledge in this setting. The teacher has a facilitating role. According to John Dewey, the teacher should observe the students' interests, follow the directions, and help them develop problem-solving skills from this. Dewey believed that learning was socially constructed and brain-based pedagogy should place children rather than curriculum and institutions at its centre.
Our areas of learning: communication and language, physical development, personal, social and emotional development, literacy, mathematics, understanding the world, expressive arts and design, and Welsh language. We chose areas of learning instead of subjects because it allows for a more child-centred approach. It also gives children a wider choice when planning lessons. Furthermore, we chose not to use subjects in our curriculum because it is not student-centred and is more knowledge-focused rather than skills-focused.
Lev Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. Lev Vygotsky believed that social development theory assesses that a child's cognitive development and learning ability can be guided and mediated by their social interaction. This means that you will be able to learn how a child best develops through observing them while they are around their friends. However, this learning varies from one culture to the next. It's important to note that Vygotsky's theory emphasizes the dynamic nature of this interaction. Society does not just impact people, people also affect their society.
How we aim to assess. Pupils are continually assessed through progression steps 1 to 2 throughout observation. Yearly tests will also be taken place in progression steps 2 to 4 to track holistic development. In progression step 5, we will split between coursework and examinations. Coursework is to be completed within the classroom. We will also use a traffic light system to track progression. We aim to use the traffic light system in our curriculum as a visual means of learning and showing understanding towards all students. Red will mean low understanding, amber will mean little understanding, and green will mean high understanding. Children will use this after completing a piece of work to explain how they feel they completed the work and will be a chance for them to gain more support if needed.
The central purpose of assessment is to promote good progress and outcomes for all pupils, and as a teacher, it is you who is accountable for their attainment, progress and outcomes. Assessment is an integral part of teaching and learning, but tends to be one of the most difficult areas to master. By assessing children, we aim to construct a bridge between teaching and learning in order to enable children to progress. When we assess, children will need to use professional judgment, but this must be informed by evidence.
These are our references. Thank you for watching the presentation. We hope you all enjoyed.